Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you. Today I am playing again with the Everyday Arches, or it's called Everyday Skies bundle. Everyday Skies Suite. So part of that is this bundle, Everyday Arches, and it's got the fun stamps and then all these different arch dies that I'm going to use 2 of today. But adding to that in the suite is a bunch of really pretty papers. Wait till you see these. These are the Everyday Skies papers. And there are just some beautiful sky, sunrise, sunset, sky type scenes, as you see here. And then the back side, as I flip through these, there's stars. There's just kind of watercolor patterns. There's one with birds. I must have flipped through it too fast, but there's one, here it comes, with the little birds on there. So a lot of things that you could use with the stamps, because there are both, pick it up here, birds, planes, stars, if you want to call those stars, in the stamp set. So this is what I'm playing with today. And I had a hard time picking a paper and deciding how to move forward. So I'm going to use one of the pretty papers. You can see I decided to go ahead and make 2 cards. So one's already done, so I could use the front and the back and show you 2 different ways to do it. So I'm using one of the arches. It's kind of a medium-sized one here. I did look at these to figure, I kind of put them one on top of the other, and so I could figure out what colors I wanted to use and what sizes. So here we go. Let me flip the camera down right here to my workspace, and now you can see I've got my stamping, cutting, and embossing machine here. So I'm going to run this through and then pull out what's left of my piece of paper, and you can see my pretty die cut, and I will show you that up close and personal now that that's out of the way. So here we go. This is the paper side I'm using today, and I'll show you what I did with this side yesterday afternoon as I was playing and thinking about what I wanted to do today. So I have a piece of blueberry bushel cardstock, and to save time and avoid all the noise, what I did was I used the Reach for the Stars stamp, which is right here. And you can see it's kind of small, but because these are all photopolymer, this fits real well inside some of the smaller dies, or you could put it up to the top. But because I wanted it on the outside, it's photopolymer, so you can move it. And so I stretched it out just a little bit to make it fit the curve of this arch. And I used Versamark. And so I stamped it first, I stamped the sentiment, I splattered some of those stars on there, added my white embossing powder, and now you can see what this looks like. So this is what I'm starting with, and then I'm going to start building my die cuts. I did balmy blue, and here is the piece I just cut out, so you get an idea where I'm going with this. I thought, looking at this Reach for the Stars, it could be a nice congratulations. It could be a graduation card. So I wanted to do something kind of fun on the inside here. I'm going to stamp a few more stars. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them on here. And again, I'm using the balmy blue. Oh, I think maybe I should have been stamping off too, because that does give a nice effect to have just a lighter colored star. Okay, and I pulled out of an old retired set. I just went looking for something that said congratulations. And so this is going to say congratulations. So again, it could be anything. In the back of my mind, it was, this could be a really cool graduation card. I know graduation has passed here, but there'll be summer college graduations and then, winter semester. So there's some opportunities here. So that is the inside. I may as well just go ahead and glue that right in there, because I think I'm done with the inside. So here we go. My little dots and dashes here. Here we go. Not too heavy on the glue. That should hold it. And I do make sure I get the corners. And then flip it over and center it up inside the card. Easy peasy. All right, So now I think I'm going to build this first. I'm going to glue these two pieces together. And then my intention was, because this paper, the color is so pretty, the clouds, I'm guessing it could be a sunrise or a sunset, but you've got the clouds kind of lit up, and then you see the splattering of stars. I have a balmy blue twine here that I wanted to use. So I'm just going to wrap this and make sure I have enough to tie. Wrap this around, yeah, give me a length to work with, around the paper and the cardstock, and then I'll adhere it. And then there might be one more. I'm still debating if there's one more thing I want to try on here. But I'm going to do this first and see how I like it. So over, around, and through. I might have too short of an edge here. Tying on camera. There we go. It's always a unique challenge. So what I could do, and this is what I'm debating. I've got one of the, it looks kind of like an airplane, or it could even look like a space shuttle. And so I thought about stamping it in black. Yeah, I'm going to try it. It says reach for the stars, so I'm just going to put it on there. But I'm going to do it in black. I'm using my Memento, and I want to make sure I get it inked up really well. Sometimes you can see it on the stamp itself that it's a little, it looks a little splotchy. I think I'm going to do a quick test. Let me grab an old piece of paper here that I've been using for scrap and just see if that will give me, yep, it's going to give me a good image. Put that in the trash. So let me ink it up again, make sure I've got it well inked, and I will count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Give it a good, yes, give it a good transfer. So, kind of liking that. And now, because the plane's there, I'm going to push this over to the side, like that, and maybe slide it. Yep, slide it down just a bit. Okay, put my ink away so I can't put my arm or wrist in it. We've all done it, I know. And then let me grab my Stampin' Seal and go ahead and do edges, corners. I will put some behind this just to hold it where I want it to be. I mean, I know you can slide it around, but I'm just going to make sure it kind of stays in that position. And now I just need to line it up based on where I did my stamping earlier this morning. So it says reach for the stars. But like I said, I just took this stamp and changed the angle. I just broadened it on both ends until it fit the curve. I could have put it up higher. You could play with where you wanted it. I wanted it coming down the side like that because I was going to balance it with some stars. So there is my card for today. Reach for the stars. This is what I did yesterday afternoon when I was playing around. I used the back side, and this is Bubble Bath, so it matches the color of the stars. So two very different looking styles with that same piece of paper. It's just front and back. And I'll show you, I didn't put a sentiment in here yet. I wasn't sure what this was going to be for. It could even say happy birthday. It could be anything. And it could still say congratulations. It could say happy retirement. I don't know. But two different styles using the same piece of paper, front and back. So that you get a feeling for what you can do with this fun set. So again, this is called Everyday Skies Suite. Paper, Skies, and Damps. What a cool set. So if you like the projects you've seen here and the products, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. I'm also on the Stampin' Up! Network, Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned for the next video.